Have you ever noticed, in the middle of anxiety or a panic attack, your chest tightens, your thoughts scatter, and even if you know what helps, you just can't reach it? That's not because you are weak or broken. It's because your nervous system is in survival mode. Your brain thinks there's danger, and it's trying to protect you, even if it's a false alarm. Hi, I'm someone who's been through complex trauma, depression, and anxiety. And even though I'm not a professional, these are tools that have genuinely helped me and people I know through some really difficult moments. That's why I like to think of these as a toolkit, something you can turn to when your system is overwhelmed and your thinking brain goes offline. You don't need to use everything. Just one or two of these techniques can help bring some calm back into your body and mind. We'll explore these tools across 5 categories: breathing and self-regulation, sensory grounding, emotional release and imagination, environment and comfort aids, tips for loved ones and caregivers. We'll also briefly talk about using AI carefully as a supportive tool in this process. And in an upcoming video, we'll go deeper into long-term healing. I recommend checking out my previous video on what causes anxiety if you haven't already. But for now, let's begin with what to do in the moment. When anxiety or overwhelm makes it hard to even think straight. One small step at a time. Breathing and self-regulation. When anxiety or panic hits, your body shifts into survival mode. This is controlled by your autonomic nervous system, ANS, the system that runs things like heart rate and breathing. It has 2 parts. The sympathetic system triggers the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response. The parasympathetic system, also called rest and digest, helps you calm down and feel safe. In anxiety, the sympathetic system takes over. Your heart races, breathing gets shallow, and your thoughts spiral. To feel grounded again, we need to activate the parasympathetic system and gently tell the body, "You're safe now." Here are a few techniques that help with that. 4-7-8 breathing, or box breathing. In this technique, you inhale for 4 seconds, then hold your breath for 7 seconds, and then exhale slowly for 8 seconds. Or if that feels difficult, you can try box breathing. In this, you inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and then hold for 4 seconds again. It is like tracing the sides of a square. This works because slow, deep breathing stimulates the vagus nerve, a key part of the parasympathetic nervous system, which tells your brain, "We're not in danger. You can slow down now." It helps bring your prefrontal cortex, the thinking part of your brain, back online, which often shuts down during panic. I've also personally noticed that keeping the eyes open while doing this, gently focusing on something around you, helps pull you out of spirals and back into reality. Chest compression. When emotions run high, your body may start craving containment, a sense of being held or anchored. That's where deep pressure can help. You can try hugging yourself firmly, pressing a pillow or cushion into your chest, lying under a weighted blanket, or simply placing 3-4 fingers with moderate pressure on your upper chest for a few moments. Deep pressure receptors, especially in the chest, play a role in calming anxiety by affecting the autonomic nervous system. This is called deep pressure therapy. It can help modulate both sympathetic and parasympathetic responses, leading to a greater sense of safety and stillness. Eye palming and gentle eye massage. One technique that often helps me slow down is gently soothing the area around the eyes, Start by resting the lower part of your palms over your closed eyes, applying very light pressure. Not pushing hard, just enough that soothes and feels comfortable. Then, if it feels comfortable, you can also try light circular massage around the brow bone, temples, or under your eyes. Slow, soft movements that help release some of the tension we carry in our face. Why does this help? There's something called the oculocardiac reflex. When gentle pressure is applied to the eyes, it can send a signal through the nervous system that lowers heart rate and activates calming responses. But please, always be gentle, and if you have any eye conditions or discomfort, it's best to skip this one. When anxiety shows up, the body jumps into survival mode, fast heartbeat, shallow breath, racing thoughts. To settle again, we need to switch on the parasympathetic system, the part that tells us you're safe now. We explored 3 ways to do this. Slow breathing, like 4-7-8, or box breathing, which calms the vagus nerve. Deep pressure, like hugging a pillow or pressing your chest, which grounds the body. And gentle eye palming or massage, which taps into the oculocardiac reflex to slow the heart. You don't have to use all of them. Even one, done gently, can soften the panic and create just enough space to take the next step. Sensory grounding, the 5 senses. When you are anxious, overwhelmed, or dissociating, it often feels like you are not fully in your body, like the world is spinning or your mind is racing and scattered. That's because your survival brain has taken over, and the prefrontal cortex, your logical reasoning center, has gone offline. Grounding techniques work by gently pulling your attention back to the physical world through your 5 senses. This shift helps interrupt the sympathetic nervous system's alarm signals and begins to bring your prefrontal cortex back online, allowing you to feel a little more present, safe, and able to think clearly again. Here are a few sensory grounding tools that may help. 5-4-3-2-1 check-in, a classic method to re-engage your senses. Name the following: 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. You don't need to do it perfectly. Even pausing to name just a few can begin shifting your mind away from internal chaos. I've personally found that saying them out loud or writing them down helps even more. It gives the mind something concrete to do, activates language centers, and slowly pulls the brain out of the panic loop. Smells that ground you. Smell is closely tied to the limbic system, your emotional command center which governs emotion and memory. This makes it a good way to shift your emotional state. Keep a strong or calming scent nearby, like camphor or your favorite soap or perfume. Inhaling their scent slowly can help signal safety to your nervous system. Similarly, eating a strong mint or piece of dark chocolate can also create an instant sensory jolt. These stimulate the trigeminal nerve, which can interrupt anxious spirals and refocus attention. Holding ice or cold water. Cold temperatures can rapidly interrupt dissociation or panic by triggering a shock response in the body. You can try the following. Holding an ice cube in your palm is my personal preference, especially when I feel too disconnected and spiraling in thoughts. Splashing cold water on your face may work too. Pressing a cold bottle against your wrists or neck can also help. This can directly or indirectly stimulate the vagus nerve and signals the brain that something else is happening, creating a moment of reset in the nervous system. When anxiety makes you feel scattered or disconnected, grounding through the senses can pull you back into the present. We looked at the 5-4-3-2-1 method, which gives the mind something concrete to do, using strong or calming smells or tastes, which directly affect the emotional brain, and holding ice or cold water, which jolts the nervous system into a reset. You don't have to do all of them. Even one small sensory anchor can create a pause, give you back a little control, and gently guide you back into your body. Emotional release and imagination. When anxiety, panic, or emotional overwhelm takes over, your body is flooded with stress chemistry, adrenaline to push your heart and breathing faster, cortisol to keep you alert, and muscle tension to hold you ready for action. These changes are meant for short bursts of survival. But when they linger, all that energy has nowhere to go. The body stays switched on, even after the danger has passed, leaving you jittery, restless, or locked in tightness. Emotional release is about giving that energy a safe way out, completing the stress cycle so your nervous system can shift back toward balance. Whether it's tears, movement, sound, or other forms of expression, this is less about fixing the feeling and more about letting the body discharge what it's been holding. It's one of the most direct ways to tell your system, you've made it through. It's okay to stand down. Crying without self-judgment. I personally believe this to be one of the most important sections. Crying is one of the body's most natural pressure release valves. When we're anxious, the nervous system is saturated with stress chemistry, and emotional tears can carry stress-related hormones like ACTH, which drives cortisol production. The amount may be small, but combined with the body's natural calming responses, it can help ease that internal pressure, loosen muscles, and activate your parasympathetic system, the body's calm down mode. Triggering tears, though, isn't always easy. It often takes hearing the right words, and those words usually carry two qualities, empathy and hope. Empathetic words acknowledge and validate your pain, showing that it's understood. Hopeful words remind you that even if things feel unbearable now, with help and the will to heal, there is a path forward. Generic words might not work. There needs to be genuineness felt. There are two sides to this. If someone is with you, it comes down to their ability to tune into what you might need to hear, which can be hard, especially if you can't fully communicate it in the moment. And if you're alone, it's about gathering enough strength to use a tool that can bring those words to you. That tool might be a video or article that speaks directly to your struggle, maybe from your favorite YouTuber, a TED Talk, or even videos and comments here on this channel. Something indirect that helps you project your own feelings. A superhero story, a song that reflects your pain, a clip showing acts of kindness, or even watching cute animals. If you're religious, it might be teachings or stories of a spiritual figure you admire. If not, it could be any fictional or real-life story that resonates deeply. For me personally, two things have worked the most: YouTube videos and songs, and chatting with AI chatbots. With AI, I recommend being careful. It has its limits and pitfalls, but over time, if you learn how to use it wisely, it can sometimes offer powerful words of comfort. These sources of kind words can be hard to think of in the middle of anxiety. So I recommend building a personal toolkit in calmer moments. A short list of videos, songs, or other tools that you or your loved ones can turn to quickly. That way, when you need them, you're not starting from scratch. And if tears come, please let them, without judgment or apology. If they don't, that's okay too. The goal isn't to force emotion, but to give your body permission to release what it's been carrying. Even a short cry can be enough to lower the pressure inside your system and make the next step feel just a little lighter. Releasing anger safely. If your anxiety carries a layer of rage, frustration, or helplessness, safe physical movement can be one of the quickest ways to shift your state. That energy is still survival energy, and if it's trapped inside, it can keep your nervous system running on high alert. The key is to channel it into something that discharges tension without harming yourself or others. You can try squeezing a stress ball or throwing a smiley ball, punching a pillow or cushion in a safe space. These simple movements can help move your body from chaotic adrenaline to a steadier, more regulated state. The goal isn't to get rid of anger entirely. It's to let the body release enough of it so your mind has a chance to think more clearly. Shaking and vocal release. Anxiety floods the body with energy that needs to come out. Shaking arms, legs, or your whole body for 30 to 60 seconds can burn off that leftover charge and signal to your brain that the danger has passed. Don't hold back and let your muscles tremble. Stomp your feet or shake hard until you feel a certain ease and relaxation. Sound can do the same. Anxiety locks the chest, throat, and jaw. Using your voice breaks that tension and stimulates the vagus nerve, which is one of the body's main calming pathways. Make a humming sound, sigh loudly, growl, or scream into a pillow if that's what your body craves. Volume and force can actually help shift the body towards comfort. Even a short burst of shaking or sound can reset your system. Anxiety overloads the body with stress energy, leading to tight muscles, racing breath, adrenaline, and cortisol. And if that energy isn't released, it keeps you stuck in a switched-on state. Emotional release gives your system a way to discharge that buildup, so balance can return. Crying without judgment can lower stress chemistry and bring relief. Anger can be channeled safely into movement or objects, and shaking or vocal release can burn off excess charge and unlock the throat and chest. Tools like music, stories, videos, or even AI can spark tears or expression when words alone aren't enough. The goal isn't to erase the feeling, but to help your body complete the stress cycle, so your nervous system can stand down and you have more space to breathe and think clearly. Environment and comfort aids. When you are anxious or overwhelmed, your brain is scanning the environment for clues about whether you are safe. This scan isn't just mental, it's physiological also. Your limbic system, which is the emotional command center, processes sensory information. And if it detects threat, it signals your autonomic nervous system to stay in sympathetic mode, that is fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. By adjusting your surroundings, you can send opposite signals, ones that suggest safety, comfort, and familiarity. These cues can activate your parasympathetic system, telling your body it's okay to begin standing down. Lighting that soothes. In high anxiety, your pupils widen to take in more light. That's an ancient survival reflex. Indoors, harsh lighting can keep your body in alert mode. So try switching to soft, warm light from lamps, candles, or fairy lights. Dim the overheads, close the blinds a little. For some people, the opposite works. Stepping outside into natural daylight, especially around greenery, can reset the nervous system. Sunlight lifts serotonin, helps regulate rhythm, and signals safety. Although since anxiety often heightens sensitivity, it won't suit everyone. Comforting or familiar sounds. The sounds around you can either keep your body tense or help it let go. Soft, predictable sounds can tell your brain nothing bad is about to happen. This could be your favorite song, a gentle playlist, the background noise of a familiar TV show, or even recordings of a loved one's voice. It doesn't have to be relaxation music. It just has to feel like home to you. Pets and touch points. Pets can provide steady comfort when you are anxious. Their warmth, weight, and steady breathing can calm the body. Touch receptors send signals that lower heart rate, reduce stress hormones, and increase oxytocin, the calming bond hormone. But here's the key. Touch only helps if it feels safe. If contact from another person, or even a pet, makes your body tense up, then stop. Forcing it will backfire. Safety is what allows touch to actually work. If you don't have a pet, the same principle applies with objects. Hug a soft toy or pillow, use a weighted blanket, or hold a warm mug in both hands. Deep pressure, cozy textures, and steady warmth all tell your nervous system that you are safe and it's okay to slow down. When anxiety spikes, your body is scanning for signs of threat, but you can flip that scan by shaping your environment to send cues of safety. Small shifts like soft, warm lighting or natural daylight for some, predictable and familiar sounds, and safe forms of touch or steady weight all work as signals to the nervous system that it can stand down. Tips for loved ones and caregivers. When someone is in a panic or anxiety spiral, your job is not to fix it. Your job is to respond with awareness and presence. First, understand what kind of loop they're stuck in. Sometimes the panic is hyper-visible, rapid breathing, shaking hands, pacing, or intense restlessness. In those moments, the nervous system is overloaded and reacting outwardly. The preference here would be to use some of the calmer techniques we discussed above. The focus is to slow things down and bring some sense of safety back into the body. But not every panic attack looks loud. Some people collapse inward. They may go still, close their eyes, and seem unresponsive. At first glance, it might look like a meditative state or even sleep. But often there's visible stress on their face or body. Inside, they're stuck in a storm of chaotic thoughts. In those moments, the aim is not to soothe, but to jolt them out of the loop, using some of the techniques we discussed earlier. You'll often need to switch between these approaches, or even use both. Don't panic if what you're doing doesn't seem to work right away. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation. The goal isn't to get it perfect. The goal is to help them move from unsafe to safe. Your biggest responsibility is to stay calm. If your body is full of tension or panic, the other person can't regulate theirs. You are their anchor in that moment. Make sure they're physically safe. But just as important is emotional safety. That's what allows them to even begin trying to come out of the state. Speak only if your words help. And if you don't know what to say, just stay close. Quietly present and not adding pressure. Also, don't assume silence means consent or understanding. If they're unable to speak, offer them a pen and paper, or unlock your phone and let them type. If even that feels out of reach, watch closely. They may be trying to show you something by reaching towards something, wincing, avoiding eye contact, or curling up. These are messages. Please try to listen to them. If one approach doesn't work, then try another. And if that fails too, you can try again. Stay strong like an anchor and keep holding space. A panic attack can feel endless, but it always passes. What matters most is not that you stop it, but that the person doesn't go through it alone. We'll cover more caregiver tools, patterns, and real-world scenarios in detail in a dedicated video. For now, just remember that calm, safety, presence, and adaptability is where it starts. Everything we've talked about in this video is meant for the short term. Tools to help you come down from an anxiety spiral, panic attack, or emotional overwhelm. These techniques don't cure anxiety. They just help you survive it. They create space so that healing becomes a little more possible. Long-term recovery looks very different. It's slower, deeper, more layered, and there's no one-size-fits-all answer. In an upcoming video, I'll talk more about those paths. What's helped me? What hasn't? And how to find your way through when it feels like nothing is working. Also, if your anxiety is tangled with depression, like it often is, that brings its own challenges. While anxiety can be loud and agitating, depression pulls you into a numb, heavy fog. The approaches can seem opposite, as anxiety needs less stimulus, depression needs more. And navigating both together takes real patience. If that's your experience, know that you're not alone, and we'll explore this more in future content too. Now, a quick but important note about AI. Its use in mental health, especially in moments of crisis, is still debated, and rightly so. But speaking from personal truth, some AI tools have helped me a lot. Not as a substitute for therapy or real human connection, but as a form of support that often understands context surprisingly well and responds with words I need when I can't find my own. There have been times where it helped me name what I was feeling, remember what might help, write a message to someone when I felt frozen or confused, or even with some long-term healing work. In that way, it gave me back a small sense of control. But as helpful as that can be, it's equally important to step outside of it. Talk to a friend, take therapy, read a book, go on a walk, and stay grounded with the realities of the world. AI can offer support, but it can't replace connection, especially not in emergencies. And like any tool, it all depends on how you use it. It won't work in isolation, so please use it with care and use it wisely. If you, or someone you know, is in a crisis or emergency situation, please don't try to handle it alone. Reach out to someone nearby or contact a crisis helpline. I'll include a few options in the description below. And before we end, if you've discovered something that helped you during a panic attack or high anxiety, a technique, a phrase, a sound, or a strategy, please share it in the comments. Your words might help someone else who's reading. You never know what line might land when someone needs it most. This wasn't an exhaustive list, just some of the main things that worked in my experience. So if you are part of this space, let's make the comments a place of shared strength. And if you'd like to stay connected to more content like this, or just need a reminder that someone understands, you're always welcome at I'll Be Here. Until next time, take care of yourself. You're not broken. You're not alone. And the fact that you're watching this video means you are already taking steps towards healing.